One, YouTube's online, and I don't know if Facebook's gonna be online. What's going on? See if it comes up. I don't see it. Let's see the video. Oh. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this off. Okay, once again, good evening. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show. Once again, we're sorry, Facebook is not working tonight. So if you're on Periscope, YouTube, or Twitch, we will be on there tonight. No Facebook. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. So please understand we're having a little issues. So just let's just go ahead and play it on. That's where we'll be at tonight. So if you want to come in and talk about world of sports, you can come on in. YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. So we'll have the LSU breakdown in just a few moments. So let me go ahead and set this channel up for y'all. If y'all want to come in and talk about sports, we'll be glad to entertain you. So let me go ahead and set this channel up for y'all. So let's go ahead and go over some MLB scores at this hour. Sorry about the Facebook not working tonight, so we'll go ahead and switch this over. So let me go ahead and put this in so everybody can come in. So we'll have MLB scoreboard update. So sorry about everything on Facebook side. Facebook's not working tonight, so we're kind of short on. We only have 3, so let's go ahead and give you the scores. Okay, scoreboard update for YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. It is tied up at 2 going into the 5th. That is the White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Also the Padres and Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee up 3-1. Also it is 3-1. Also it is the Washington Nationals down 2-0 to St. Louis. The Cincinnati Reds down 3-0 to the Cubs as well. Also, that's bases loaded, top of the 3rd. Also, the Mets up 1-0. Other games going on in just about 40 minutes from now. It's Arizona taking on Miami. Oakland will take on the Kansas City Royals. Other games today, the Tigers won 5-2, so that was an afternoon game. So that is your MLB scoreboard update. So let's go ahead and go to our feature story tonight, which is the LSU breakdown. LSU will take on the Vanderbilt Commodores this coming Saturday morning at 11 a.m. We will go over the Ed Orgeron press conference. We'll have that. And we'll also have breakdowns. So that's let's go ahead and go to the Orgeron press conference, and also we'll go to the breakdown.
Obviously, we're very pleased with our win against Northwestern State University. We give Coach Laird and his staff and his players credit for coming out and fighting very hard at the beginning of the football game. I thought he had an excellent game plan. But I want to give our team credit for fighting for 60 minutes. That's what we went into halftime and talked about that we're going to fight for 60 minutes, and nobody panicked. I was pleased with our coaching staff. We stuck to the plan. We made some adjustments, especially on defense. Give credit to Coach Aranda. Came back and played tighter coverage, and I thought we played one heck of a second half. I was very pleased to see guys that catch the ball and usually didn't catch the ball, and Derek Dillon and Stephon Sullivan. We need to get them the ball. They're good players, along with the great players that we have. Pleased to see the returns, the punt returns with Derek Stanley and Trey Palmer. Great scheme by Coach Mack, but those guys make some plays, so we're very pleased with our return game, and we hope to get better at it. Cade had the one miss. We talked to him about it. Obviously, had to wait a little while in the roughs to start the play. He needs to get back, take time out, reset his thoughts, and we need to train him to do that. But other than that, we're very good on the special teams. When we looked at the film, we didn't play as good as some spots that we wanted to, especially on the offensive line and defensive line. In some spots we didn't. We got to get fixed, and there's some fundamental stuff that we got to get fixed so we get to tell the truth Monday today and to get those things fixed, and looking forward to that. Looking forward to going to our first SEC game on the road against Vanderbilt at 11 o'clock. We're going to be ready to play. We're going to go to bed early on Friday night. Tennessee and Nashville has been a great recruiting area for us, and will continue to be a great recruiting area for us. Derek Mason has a lot of respect for myself. I think he's an excellent football coach. I knew him. He was at Stanford. We go to the SEC coaching meetings. He's one of the best guys there. He's easy to talk to. He's a good guy. He's very personal, and I wish him the very best. I think he's an excellent coach. On offense, they've gone to the spread. They have a big-time running back in Keyshawn Vaughn, a running back. He's probably going to be an NFL player. And also Jared Pinkney, tight end. Those two guys will play in the NFL. And Lipscomb, who's from New Orleans, is a good receiver for him. On defense, they're 4-2-5. They're giving up 36 points per game. Coach Mason's a defensive guy. I know he's had 2 weeks to prepare. I know he's going to have an excellent defensive game plan against us. We're looking forward to getting on the road. We're looking forward to fixing ourselves this week. There's a lot of things to fix. There's a lot of things to be positive. I'm very pleased with the play of Joe Burrow. Joe made a couple of throws out there that you just go, wow. Did you turn back the film time and time again? So how did he do that? But tremendous athlete, tremendous touch, tremendous will to win. Very pleased with the way Steve Ensminger and Joe Brady is called in our offense. Obviously, lights out right now on offense, throwing the football. We got to get better running the football. We got to get better up front on defense and stopping the run and playing out gaps. And we look forward to this week. Any questions?
Coach, you kind of touched upon it, but how do you avoid kind of a sleepy start with that early time? And this may be one of the smaller stadiums you've gone to. It won't be the big atmosphere, maybe. Yeah.
Well, we're going to work hard on it. I promise you that. We're going to go to bed early at 9 o'clock. We're going to get up. We have a call-out meeting at 7 o'clock. Wake them up. We're going through the same itinerary that we did against Louisville. So, we're going to have our work cut out for us to get the guys going, get them going early in the morning. We'll get it done.
And down here in front, do you have any update on Todd Harris, who got hurt on Saturday night?
Yeah, Todd's going to be out for the year, and will not be back with us this year, and hopefully we can use him as a redshirt. No, we will use this year as a redshirt year for him. Unfortunate. It was an unfortunate accident. He just landed on the ground wrong. And
well, I guess to go off that then, I mean, how do you imagine you guys go about kind of replacing him there?
Well, Jacoby Stevens is going to have to play a lot back there.
You usually play three safeties a good amount, right?
Yeah, that's right. Jacoby Stevens is going to play back there. We have to wait to see as the week goes who else can fit back there. Yeah.
Hey, Ed, one of the things that I heard in the postgame from the players was that they weren't necessarily pleased with it either. They talked about a standard that they're trying to set and that they're trying to play to. How rewarding as a coaching staff is it to hear that? But then is it because they understand how good they can be that they're trying to reach this level?
We talked about at the beginning of the year setting LSU standard of performance, the way we practice and the way we play. And obviously it's very high. I'll give you an example. On today, Tell the Truth Monday, we had on offense, one of the things we must and will improve is that we were only 8 out of 9 in the red zone scoring. And I said, well, isn't that asking a little much? I said, well, no, coach, we're supposed to be 9 out of 9. So setting the LSU standard of performance is very high. Our players have said it, our coaches have said it, so we still have a ways to go in all areas. And look out when we reach that standard of performance in all areas. I think we could be pretty good.
Ed, you're right. After the game, you talked about getting Chase and Hines reps at backup center.
Yeah.
Has anyone else taken snaps before or played center in high school that might be an option behind?
No, that's it. That'll be Chase on. That'll be Chase on for us, to my knowledge.
Yeah, Ed, right here. Do you have a update on Ed Ingram yet?
Yeah, we're hearing very positive news. We have nothing official. I expect to know something in the near future, the next couple of days. And when I do hear something official, I'll bet to let you guys know officially. But everything we're hearing is be very positive, and we should hear something in the next couple of days.
As far as you know, has he been working out? I mean, if he comes back,
Yes.
how quickly can he assimilate?
Yes, he's been through some workouts. Obviously, he's been working on his own. He's going through some acclimatization stuff with helmets on and stuff like that. So when he does come back, we'll be able to clear him, and he'll be ready to play.
And then any updates on Rashard Lawrence or Glenn Logan?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be ready.
All right, this week. Is there any kind of timeline with those guys?
Not this week for sure. I don't think.
Ed, you're 3-0 and you talk about things you have to work on. Is this kind of as a coach, you kind of like this situation a little bit? You got things to get their attention, but
Yeah.
yet you're having success. Just talk about that scenario that you find yourself in right
Yeah,
now.
it's always good to be able to win and look at the things that you must improve on, and the guys see it. We had some experienced guys up front that didn't play very well, and they know it. I talked to them about it today, so they're gonna be hungry this week. Must improve. Again, the LSU standard of performance is very high. They understand it. I think they see it before I do sometimes, and which is good.
Ed, over here. Couple of things. The pass rush, do you think if it doesn't improve, that's the kind of thing that can catch up with you in these games? And two, I know you've leaned on Clyde Edwards-Helaire a bunch. Is it just an experience factor, or, like at Texas, he had the lion's share of the carries? Can you kind of explain what your thinking is there?
Yeah. It's kind of funny you mentioned that. Coach Robinson kind of gives me a State of the Union. John Robinson, every Monday morning. He's got about 8 things for me. And they're very insightful, and I respect him, and I'm happy that I have him there. And most of them are very positive. But today it was like, hey, we need to work those backs in quicker in significant roles, and he's right. I didn't want to put him in the Texas game because we had to go. I felt like we had to score every time, and I didn't want to fumble. And I'm not saying they would have fumbled, but I've trusted that Clyde could do it. So, but we need to get these guys in more significant reps. We need to get them in a rotation that they played in the first quarter, the second quarter, so they can be more prepared to when in the heat of the battle we can trust them to make the right play. The pass rush will cost us. We're experimenting with different things. We did a better job of it, mixing in our blitzes. We're going to have to blitz. We're not ready to use a 4-man rush now with the guys that we have. We will use it, but how effective we can be, we have to get better at it. So I think that you're going to see more blitzes, more creative ways to get pass rush, and I think you saw that last Saturday.
Down here. You said Saturday that it would take to watch film to kind of diagnose the zone coverage issues there. Just after looking at it there, what's kind of your assessment on some of the changes?
Yeah, there's more or less the thing you said. The pass rush wasn't there. On the touchdown, we had a missed assignment. Not a missed alignment, just a missed assignment. They had a little bunch route. On some other plays, there was still some technique stuff that we played wrong. We were playing too far off in the first half. We played a little bit tighter. Our guys broke on the ball. They batted some balls down. They broke some balls up. Should have got a couple of picks on a couple of balls. One of the things that I did mention that we're disappointed in, we're even in the turnover ratio. That's not where we want to be. We're -1 in the turnover ratio this week. We need to get more picks. We need to get more turnovers. We had a turnover last game and a turnover the game before, and we're not getting enough turnovers.
Coach, how pleased were you with Stephon Sullivan's production on Saturday? And after that, is he going to see increased usage from here on out?
Yeah, we want to get Stephon the ball, and he deserves it. He deserves it. He's a good player. We talked about it after the Texas game, and you can expect to see him some at tight end, some at receiver, have some specific plays that he's going to catch the ball. So we're pleased with him. Yeah.
Ed, what is it that makes Derek Stingley so effective as a punt returner, and how long after he got to campus did y'all decide to use him in that role? How did he assert himself so quickly in that way?
Yeah, he has vision. He has confidence. He's able to see the whole field. And again, we told him, said, Derek, wherever you see green grass, go. It's not like you got to go left or right. You don't want to limit him into where he can go, because you never know when you catch the punt what's going to be open, the right, the left, or in the middle. So we ask our guys to block a certain way, let him find the green grass and let him go and let him make plays. One thing that I do want him to do is protect the ball. Every once in a while it gets out a little bit. We need to keep it high and tight.
Ed, up here, Joe Burrow said something at the game is interesting, that it's almost like the pass sets up the run now, which is kind of foreign to most people. I know this offense is totally different. You prepared us for us all summer on that. Yeah. You had 488 passing, 122 rushing. Yeah. Do you is there a 50-50 mix so far in these first 3 games? Do you like where it is, but where it's going, rush and pass?
Well, I'd like to be 50-50 as far as run pass, not the yardage, as far as the calls. 50% run, 50% pass. We have to be balanced. We're going to have, at some point in time, they're going to stop our passing game. We have to run the football. But what's happening is we're so good at passing the football, it's kind of hard not to call the passing plays when they're wide open. So that's what you're seeing. We had some gap schemes that we put in, were not very effective. We got beat at the line of scrimmage. And for that, we're going to show our team that today, that we had some one-on-ones on the offensive line that got beat. We got some one-on-ones on our defensive line that their offensive line beat them, and that should not happen. So those are some things we need to improve on.
Hey, Ed, right here. With Sadiq kind of being in and out of the lineup, how impressive you've been with Dare Rosenthal and Bedore Traore just kind of filling in?
Very impressed. Very impressed. Those guys have answered the bell. Dare has made tremendous improvement from moving from defense to offense every week. He's able to go in there, and he didn't give up a sack. He's doing a great job. I'm really impressed with Bedore Traore. Can play right tackle, can play guard. You're going to see him in the mix more. And if we do get Ed Ingram back and Sadiq back, we should be very solid up front.
Hey, Coach, over here. Anything you want to say about the news on Drew Brees, and maybe reflect on maybe that being a reminder for you guys in terms of getting Brennan some playing time?
First of all, when I heard it, I felt bad. I felt bad for him, his family, and the Saints in the state of Louisiana, because I know how much he means to all of us. And I was talking to some quarterback recruits last night, and to remind them that how much that they mean to their team, not in a selfish or boastful way, but the quarterback is the man, and especially when he's a great one. So I'm still going to have to remind Joe to run out of bounds. He ain't going to run out of bounds, but I'm going to have to remind him to do it. And Joe means a lot to our football team. Joe is becoming an elite quarterback, and I've been a part of 3 Heisman Trophy winners, Gino Torretta, Carson Palmer, and Matt Leinart, and I'm starting to see a lot of similarities, or maybe some things even better than I remember those guys doing. So he can become that quarterback, still has a ways to go, but he's going to have to protect himself.
You talking about Joe, and you mentioned some of those wow throws he was making. I mean, it seems like some of the throws he's making this year are just throws that I don't think we saw him able to make last year. I mean, how have you seen him just progress just purely as a passer?
Yeah. Last year when he came in, I think he was unsure of the offense, so he wasn't letting the ball go as quick as he wanted to. He's improved his arm strength. He's in better condition this year.
I'm going to say this about Joe Burrow. Look, this guy right here, Joe Burrow, look, I think he will be a Heisman candidate without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, look, what I've been hearing about him throwing over 400 yards in the last 2 games. Look, truth of the matter is, if he does beat out the elite, the quarterbacks that's in this Heisman slot, look, I think he will win it. But there are going to be some more people, quarterback, that's going to have something to say about that. So let's go back to what Ed Orgeron is saying. We'll talk about, we'll discuss it even more.
I think he's able to extend plays with his feet, as you saw last week, and that's when he's really dangerous. And then again, the receivers that we have are not dropping the football. They're catching everything in the catch rates that you can possibly imagine. So I think it's a combination of all those things.
Coach, over here, when you evaluate everything you're doing now, do you look and through the prism of, hey, we're close to knocking on the door to where we want to be, and what do you think you have to do to get there? Because that's going to kind of reveal itself, in October and November.
Yeah, we talked about that last night without saying it. You want to keep it one game at a time. But you really look at your roster. You really looking at evaluating your personnel. You're really saying, hey, what can we do here? What can we do there? What can we do to get better? Pressing on, keep on pressing to get better and better and better. So we can make improvement throughout the year. I think that a good football team, I know that a good football team improves every week, and we got to take the next step this week to get where we want to go. Obviously, we know what's coming down the road. There'll be some very strong opponents coming down the road, and we run into one in Vanderbilt. We ran one into one in Northwestern State for the first half. We got to overcome that. But we cannot do the things that we did against Northwestern State in the first half and get to where we want to go. We have to improve.
Coach, you're right. You alluded to your relationship or knowing Derek Mason. Would you elaborate a little bit maybe on when you were at SC, he was at Stanford, memorable games, things you remember about him?
Yeah, they had great defenses. I mean, they were an attack defense. I do believe that they led the league in sacks every year. Turnovers, they were ferocious. They were very multiple. They ran out of a 3-4. They were very hard to block, very creative. Those are the things I remember about them. Tough. Go ahead.
After the game, you said that you weren't panicked, the team wasn't panicked, because you believe you have this trust in this offense that you guys are in every game. Has that had to trickle down to the way you coach or your coaches coach the team? Do you guys have to reset a mindset, I guess, as far as maybe we don't need to press as hard as we might have in the past?
I leave the offense up to Steve and Joe for the most part. I put my 2 cents in every once in a while, but hey, why is this not working? What are we doing? But I do feel that the press that I'm feeling is from the defensive side, and we need to get better. And I know we will. And there's some things we got to get some guys healthy. We got to get Kittleman healthy. We got to stop making some mistakes that we're making. So the press that I'm feeling is to get the defense up to speed with the offense, so we can get to where we want to go.
Coach, going back for a second, just talking about how you have to get Stephon Sullivan more involved, just how satisfying is it that you have that challenge with your offense to getting your running backs and your tight ends and your wide receivers, an equal opportunity?
Yeah. Well, that's what we always wanted, to have an offense that creates space, put our playmakers in space, and let them make plays. And have the quarterback that can make the decisions according to the coverage, or have the coach. We can look over and he can call the right play to put the ball in our guys' hands at the right spot. When you watch our film, and I know you guys all do, I see your little coaching points in your synopsis. I like that stuff. So there's a lot of times you see guys open, which is a sign of good coaching and good route running. So we have a combination of all those things, and at LSU, you deserve the very best. And I do believe that we're giving our guys the very best available.
Coach, in the preseason, you said we've got to get pressure with 4. That's a big. I know when you blitz, you don't want to do that because you expose yourself to stuff. Is that disappointing for you? I mean,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It really is. And we have some guys hurt. We're not getting where we want to go yet. I'm not saying that we can't get there, but we're not where we need to be.
Down here, you mentioned the pass rush earlier. Patrick Queen seems like he's kind of up in the middle on some of those green team packages. I mean, what's his role in that, and what have you seen from him this year?
That's a package that Dave has come up with to dictate certain protections. And once we dictate those certain protections, we can do a lot of things out of that. You're going to see that more. Sometimes we're sending them, sometimes we're not. But I think that when you walk him up to the line of scrimmage, you dictate how they're going to block you, and then Dave can run his blitz patterns from that.
And he was one of those guys that was in a position battle throughout there. I mean, now he's on the field for y'all. I mean, what have you seen from Queen this year?
Yeah. Excellent character. Some guys, when they don't get it their way, want into the transfer portal. They want to go. This guy came into my office and said, "What can I do to get better? I'm going to play. I'm going to fight this thing out." Great example of that. Just stick around. Hey, listen, hey, we got a plan for you, son. It's going to happen. And now he's one of our best players on our team.
Coach, I'll run back up here. We know in the summer, Burrow talked about scoring the 40 and 50 and 60 points. Y'all hit all those numbers. With recruiting, and I know you talked about this leading up to the Texas game, is there any story you can relay about some of the recruits, their excitement level now that they've seen it, not only 1 week against Georgia Southern, but big-time opponents there? 19 kids have caught a pass this year for you. That broke a school record.
Yeah. Well, so here's me texting a skilled player. You ready? Hey, this is Coach O. Can you call me? Bling. Hello. As opposed to, hey, this is Coach O. Can you call me? No answer. There's high interest, and guys are being noticed. Especially being on ESPN game days, being a national TV game like that, and having a quarterback do what he's doing. There's high interest across the country in our offense, and come and play for the Tigers. There was always high interest. Now that we're playing great offense, there's even high interest.
Coach, right here in the front. If Joe Burrow's doing well in the game, you don't want to make a change, but is there a concerted effort to get Miles Brennan some reps in the event something would have happened? I mean, packages and stuff.
Yeah. We practice him. We share some reps. We go ones versus twos, which is our first offense against their second defense. And Joe gets 7 reps and Miles gets 3, so we're training him. Then Miles gets all the second team reps. Miles is 8 or 9. And, we're working on gaining weight. He's getting better. We feel that if something would happen with Joe, then Miles will do fine. Is he Joe yet? No. But does he have a chance to be that good? We think he does.
Coach, I know it's only September or whatever it is, but you mentioned the Heisman earlier. Do you think Joe is definitely in that conversation? And what would it take to him to be a super serious contender to get that?
Well, we all know the answer to that is yes, he is, and he's that good. You have to win the big game. I think that you have to win the big game. You have to take us to the SEC championship and take us to the championship. And not to say that you can't win it without it, but if you do those things, you got a good chance of winning. Now, who says we can do that? I don't know. But I've been a part of 3 national championship teams, and that was a big part of those guys winning the Heisman. I guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was right on point with Coach Ogeron said. I'll be honest with you, look. Once again, I think he is a legitimate Heisman candidate, Joe Burrow. I think he is. Because, look, you're going to have a lot of them. A lot of those quarterbacks from any of those conferences. They're going to be in contention for that Heisman. So I'll be honest with you. Look, he said things in that press conference. So once again, we will break down the LSU versus Vanderbilt game. We will break down the tape of Vanderbilt. They played Purdue last week, so we'll go ahead and break down the Vanderbilt Commodores. Let's go ahead and switch this over. Give me just a second. Switch it over so we can get it onto the screen. Waiting on the video to come up. Hold on one second. Okay, let's get this on the screen. Okay, let's put this in theater mode. Let's show you what happened. Okay, this is highlights from the Vanderbilt and Purdue game. This is what we're going to be showing you. Give me 1 second to switch it. Okay, once again, Vanderbilt is on the line. That was on 3rd and 13. They drop back. It looks for a pass, and it was complete. So so a big game right there. So it's a perfect pass play by the Vanderbilt Commodores. What they're going to do is they're going to throw it downfield. They're going to chuck it. So that was on the first play right there. That was on 3rd and 13. This is on 1st and 10. They drop back. The quarterback he hits his receiver, and he's going to hit his receiver. So he hits his receiver downfield. So that's one thing LSU is going to have to cover is that pass. That pass is going to be deep. So they can hit those wide receivers. So the biggest concern that I'm looking at right there with this Vanderbilt offense is their throwing ability. So let's go ahead and give you that play. That was so it looks like they was pulling on them. So that could have been a. Okay, this is on goal line situation. 2nd and goal. Vanderbilt looks like they're in a I formation. They have one running back in the backfield, and let's see what happens on this running play. They give it off and they score. So that was an easy score right there for Vanderbilt. So they get their first score of the afternoon. So that was the first touchdown. That was on 2nd and goal. It's a touchdown. So they went up 7-0. Purdue had the football. This is on 2nd and 8. Purdue throws a pass. So that was a touchdown right there. So they tied the game at 7. So it was a tied game at 7. So that was a good touchdown. So if LSU, Joe Burrow could come in and throw those passes, they can kind of match up with them. So it was tied up at 7. Okay, this is on 1st and goal. This is this is like a little pass play, so it's a little short pass play for a touchdown. So Vanderbilt gave up a touchdown, so they went up 14-7 Purdue. Vanderbilt's back on offense, 3rd and 27. So that's the biggest difference right there. On 3rd and 27, they convert on that. They get close to the first down. So he gets there, and that gets him a short yardage situation, but it ends up in a field goal. So it was 14-10. Let's see what happens with this field goal. The field goal was good, so it was 14-10 Vanderbilt. Purdue, excuse me. Vanderbilt drops back. Yep. Quarterback will try to throw a deep ball, and they look at the coverage. So the coverage was perfect right there, but it was a good low catch by that Vanderbilt wide receiver. I don't know who that was. I'm trying to see who that was. So that was a good catch right there. That was on 3rd and 3. So that's the reason why the Tigers have to cover those pass plays, because they will have jump balls at any time. So that's so this is on 1st and 10. Vanderbilt will their quarterback. We'll see what happens on this play. They throw that was a perfect strike right there. So they go up 21-10. So I'd be honest with you. Look, Purdue had some pretty good pass plays against the Vanderbilt defense. So it's a touchdown. Vanderbilt back on offense. That quarterback, let's see what the quarterback, he can throw that ball. So he hits, so it's an interception. So that was a thrown into coverage play. So that's, like I said, If you could cause that for Vanderbilt, that would be good for this LSU defense, because I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna chuck it down the field. They will chuck it down the football field. So it's so Vanderbilt gets a turnover. That's what Coach Orgeron is talking about when he mentioned that in his press conference. Is turnovers. We have to get turnovers. We don't want to be one even. We don't want to be one even in the turnover ratio. We have to be better in the turnover ratio. Okay, this is on once again 1st and 10. They so defensive play by Vanderbilt. That was a pickoff. So that's the reason if Barrow throws that football, I throw a screen pass. I don't throw those little dump off passes where they can get those balls and pick them off. So that's a concern. That's a reminder right there that don't throw into coverage. Because if you throw into coverage, I know you're going to throw into those tight windows. That's the thing about it. You have to be recognizant of it and don't throw into those coverages. So let's go ahead and go over the we're going over the video. Okay, let's go over some more information. All right. This is on 1st and 10. Purdue, he drops back. Quarterback will throw. Looks like he's going to hit his man, and he does hit his man. So that was number 89. So that was a good catch by him. So was screen pass. So they will throw that screen pass. They're going to throw that screen pass. Either from the left side or the right, or most likely middle. So it makes that will be a dangerous play right there. I keep saying that every time. That is a predominantly dangerous play. And they will get yards off, and that's a touchdown right there. That was on 2nd and 4. So they will down 28-16, and they would be down 35-16. That was a touchdown by Purdue. So that was a good play by Purdue against the Vandy defense. Drops back, and yep, he hits his receiver. So he hits number 10 on that reception. So that was a good reception right there. Number trying to see what that number is. Number 19. I mean, I'm trying to. No, 14. Excuse me. I'm looking at it. Okay, drops back, and looks like he's going to roll, and he's going to hit his man for a touchdown. So they throw those easy touchdowns. They absolutely will throw those touchdowns right in that end zone. So that was it was 35-22 with the 9:16 mark. So this is what we're showing you right here. This is a pass right here. It was a long pass, and they get a good pass play off the Vandy defense. So if you get a good long pass play off that Vandy defense, you'll be fine. But if you like I say, you throw it into coverage, you're gonna get burnt every time. That cornerback is gonna be looking for that pass. So that was a good reception. So and they get the first down. So that was a good offensive series by Purdue versus the Vandy defense. So this is a goal line situation. Looks like they pushed themselves in, and I'm trying to see. Let's see. Yeah, they say touchdown. So that's a pass play right there. So I'm gonna say this. Look, this Vandy offense, I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna be throwing. They're gonna be throwing this football. Sometimes they might go with a run play, and sometimes they might go with a. We'll go over the breakdowns in just a few moments. So this is some film highlights of Vandy versus Purdue. So Vanderbilt loses 42-24. So that was it was a high scoring football game, to say the least. So let's go ahead and pull this down. And we'll give you the box score in this game. I'm going to do that in 1 second. Let me switch this over to the college football box score. I'm going to give you the breakdown on this game. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do the breakdowns. Okay, offensive comparisons. LSU averages 7.3 yards per carry, yards per play, excuse me, and Vandy is at 5.0. So I'm gonna tell you that huge advantage is going to LSU. Yards per play is 7.3. Points they put up is per play is 69.4. So 69.4. Vanderbilt is at 0.211. So 0. So on rush plays, LSU is at 43%. And Vandy's at 40%. So that's going to be equal right there for Vandy and LSU. So both teams are near at the 40. Now, on pass plays, Vanderbilt will pass 59% of the time. They will pass 59% of the time. LSU, 56% of the time. So that's just an equal 50-50 right there. Going into this game. Completions, LSU's at 78%. Vandy's at 58%, so they're close to 60 when you look at it. Third down conversions, Vanderbilt's at 31%, so LSU's at 53%. So LSU, I say, it's a good outmatcher right there for Vanderbilt. So that's a good outmatcher. Now, red zone scoring, LSU is at 100%. Vandy's at 50%. So their red zone scoring is kind of a little lethargical, but hey, that's gonna be okay. Now, defensive comparisons. So let's give you a defensive comparison. LSU opponent's yards per play. LSU gives up only 4.4. Vandy gives up 7.8. Opponents points. 28 for LSU and 54 on plays. This is 54. This is opponents' points and plays. That's what that is. Also, completions. LSU only gives up 61%. Vanderbilt gives up 65.5. So 65.5. So for Vanderbilt on defense. Now LSU on third downs. It's at 33%, and Vandy is at 33%. So it's an equal number right there. Now, in red zone scoring, LSU only gives up 60%, Vandy 80%. You saw that when in that highlight video we just played on the screen, where Vandy could throw. Purdue was throwing the football and running the ball on this team. So that's something right there to look at, to be concerned about. Now we'll give you some more stat breakdown. Let me go ahead and give you that. Let me pull this up in a second. Go up to power rankings. Let's give you the power rankings breakdown. Power rankings breakdown. Team power rankings. Projective, LSU is ranked 6. Vandy ranked 77. And projective, last 5 games, LSU is ranked 6. In last 5 games, Vanderbilt was ranked 84. So 84. That's in the last 5 games now. In away games, LSU is ranked 7. Vandy in away games is ranked 107. So that's on power rankings right there. Also, home games, LSU is ranked 6. Vanderbilt's 55th in home games. Also, conference games. LSU is 21st. Vandy is ranked 18th in the power rankings. Let's see, that's in conference games. Non-conference games, LSU is ranked 6th in the power rankings, and also Vandy's ranked 103rd. Non-conference games, let's see, non-conference, I'm looking at it right there on my screen. So non-conference, we already went over that. First half of power rankings, LSU is ranked 10th. Vanderbilt is ranked 75th. Second half, LSU is ranked 10th, and Vanderbilt is ranked 84. So that's in the second half. Strength of schedule pass, LSU is ranked 6th. Vandy is ranked 3rd. Let's see. Future, LSU is ranked 5th. Vanderbilt is ranked 68th. Luck rankings, LSU is ranked 25th. And Vanderbilt is ranked 101st. Consistency rankings, LSU is ranked 60th. And Vanderbilt 69th. So that's your power ratings breakdowns. So that's what we're showing you. So we gave you the breakdown there. So let's give you some more matchup stats. We'll give you some matchup breakdown stats. We'll give you that in a second. Okay, the matchup breakdown stats. LSU points per game. LSU is ranked 6th. Vanderbilt is ranked 2nd in opponents' points for a game with 36. So they give up 36 points in games. LSU on the offense is ranked 6th with 50 points a game. LSU in yards per game is ranked 15th with 522. On the opposing side for Vanderbilt, they're ranked 117th, so with 512. So yards per play, I already went over that. Yards per play, they ranked 17th, and Vanderbilt's ranked 124th in opposing yards per play. So we went over these breakdowns as well. Okay, let's give you the breakdown on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is ranked 112th with 15 points scored in the game. So I'll be honest with you, this is a complete mismatch right here between LSU and Vanderbilt. This is going to be a complete mismatch, to tell you the truth, because look, Vandy, these numbers I'm looking at right now, Vandy's only scored 15 points. LSU only gives up 20 points a game. On total yards per game on the opposing side, LSU only gives up 314th at 29th. So I'll be honest with you, this is going to be now passing the football. We're showing you passing football. LSU is pass for a play is 56.94 completions. First, LSU is also ranked 10th in yards per pass with 10.5. Also passes per game with 39. That's 26 in the. Also passing yards, LSU averages 410. Vandy on opposing side, that's on the defensive side for Vandy, gives up 332 yards. Now Vandy passing the football, they average 264 yards a game. That's 43rd nationally. Interceptions thrown, they're ranked 41st, and also quarterback sacks, they're ranked 64. So that's the breakdown right there. Now the turnover margin. This is what Ed Orgeron was talking about in this press conference. They're averaging equal 1. So they're averaging +1 in the turnover ratio. So they're even. Also, Vanderbilt is also they're ranked 59th. So they're not getting that many turnovers in games. So that's the breakdown from team rankings. So let's give you the split stats. I'm about to give you split stats in just a second. Let me pull this up on my screen. Okay, scoring and average. LSU scoring margin, points per game, opponents points per game, first downs a game, yards per game, and also opponents points per game has the advantage to LSU. In the last 3 games, LSU averages scoring margin of 29 points. That's 50 a game. And also, let's see, 20 points on they give up on defense. So that's the advantages right there. Now, on the road versus home, LSU averages 7.0. That's in the plus category on that scoring margin. Points per game, LSU scores 45 points a game. That's at home. Also, opponents' points, they only give up 38. So I'll be honest with you. So this matchup's a pretty darn exceptional right here when you look at it. So now offensive efficiency, we're looking at it right now. In the last 3 games, LSU had 43% rushing, 56% passing. So that's a comparison right there. Also, yards per play, LSU's averaging 7.3 yards per rush. They're averaging 3.6. So that's in the last 3 games. Now, on third down conversions, they're at 53%. That's in the last 3 games as well. Now, on the road versus home, LSU averages 72 plays on the road. Also, their rushes is 40% on rushes and 59% on passes. So the yards per play is 8.0. That it is pretty amazing right there. 8.0. So I'm kind of looking at these numbers right here. I mean, I got the same numbers. So these are the defensive numbers right here I'm looking at. With the exception right here, LSU in the last 3 games gave up 53% of the runs and 46% of the passes. So it's kind of equal 50-50 right here. So that's going to probably be an equal. Now, yards per play. LSU on defense gives up 4.4. Opponents is 2.6. Third down conversions is 60%. So that is your conversion rates. Now on the turnovers, LSU in the last 3 games on the turnover margin is point plus 0.5. That's in the plus category. Fumble recoveries are at 66%. Penalties 6.5. Opposing penalties is 5.5. Time of possession is at 47. That's 47.99%. So that's a pretty good assessment right there when you look at it. So I'll be honest with you. Look, this is these are the breakdowns. Okay, let's give you the I'm gonna go ahead and give you the efficiency stats. I'm about to do that in 1 second. Let me see if I can grab those efficiency stats. Okay, I'll pull them up on the screen. This is your efficiency stats right here. This is what we're showing you. Everything is so this is the offensive efficiencies where LSU has the advantage. Defensive efficiencies, LSU somewhat has the advantage in those areas. So I'll be honest with you, that is the breakdown right there. So I'm going to give you their let's see, I'm going to give you their point spread analysis. Let's give you their analysis. Okay, this is the analysis right here. LSU is 2-1 on the season. That's in the point spread trend. Vanderbilt is 0-2 in the season. Now, conference play, Vanderbilt is 0-1 in the situational trends. That's on the ATS side. Now, in the last 5 games, Vanderbilt is 0-2. Last 10, they're 0-2. At home, they're 0-1. And also, away, they're 0-1. LSU is 1-1 at home. That's on the trends right there. So I'll be honest with you, these numbers that we're showing you are just not obscured. So these are the detailed performances from the for LSU football. LSU against Georgia Southern won by 52. So it was a 27-point line, but they did win by 52. LSU it was a 6-point game, but LSU kind of went over that spread, so they went over it, so it was 7. And Northwestern State was a 51-point win. But they got they was just inside that point spread. So now Vanderbilt against Georgia lost by 24. That's in the ATS performance. Also, they lost to Purdue by 18. So they lost that game by 18 points. It was a 7-point underdog. There was a 7-point underdog. They lost by 18. So that is the breakdown right there. Point spread analysis. Let's give you the breakdown on the LSU and Vanderbilt. Let's look at the running game for Vanderbilt. Let's see how they matching up. We'll do that. Okay, this is the let's go over to Vanderbilt. We'll look at the Vanderbilt. Okay, that main running back is Keyshawn Bond. He has 32 carries, 130 yards. He's averaging 4.1 yards per average. So he's averaging that number. So that number is pretty good. He's only catching the ball one time for 46 yards. Their next guy we're going to be featuring. Let's see who else we're going to be featuring. So they run the ball 57 times in games for 187 yards. So that's something right there. They average 3.3 yards per average. So that's their only guy right there. That's the only guy they're going to be dependent on right there is Bond. Now the other guys, Liscombe, he doesn't have much of a fight, but he's a pretty good wide receiver. He has 11 catches for 106 yards for Vanderbilt. So he's a good pass catcher in the backfield, but not a good running back. So he's only averaging. Now the next guy we'll be looking at is Pierce. We'll look at Pierce. Okay, the next guy is Pierce. Pierce has 4 catches for 149 yards. So he has 4 catches. So they got some good running backs that can catch the football for the Vanderbilt Commodores. So also this guy Mosley has 5 catches. He's averaging only 1 carry for 23 yards. So 1 carry for 23 yards. So I'm kind of looking at these numbers. They only have 2 touchdowns. The only guy that's scoring the touchdowns is let's see, it's Pierce, and let's see, Johnson, Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson is the next one. Cam Johnson has 5 catches for 45 yards. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Sure, they'll run the ball 57 times in a single game. They'll run in every game in the last 2 games. But the truth of the matter is they don't have a good running back that can rely on. They only got 1 running back that they can absolutely rely on. So, and that's Vaughn. So now LSU, we got some stellar backs in our backfield. We got Hayer's carries. He has 37 carries. He's averaging 4, so he's got 4 touchdowns. So that's Hayer. So we're gonna be dependent on Hayer and this young guy Price. That's Tyrone Davis Price. Tyrone Davis has um, he's averaging 3.1. He has 2 touchdowns in a game. So I'll be honest with you, I want to see more of what John Emery can do um, running the football. He only has 9 carries for 18 yards, so he's only averaging 2.0. Now Lad Fournette, he's starting to get his carries up, but we need to see more production out of Fournette. We want to see more production. Now Joe Burrow, he has 17 carries, so he's going to be the runner right there. So let's give you the quarterback situation. I'm going to give you the passing situation. I'm going to give you Joe Burrow's numbers in just 1 second. Let me get this up on the screen. Okay, I'm going to go to Joe Burrow's tag. Okay, Joe Burrow. Let's give you his let's give you some more numbers on him. Okay, let's give you his game log. I'm give you his passing game log in just a second. Okay, against Northwestern State, he had 373 yards, so he was close to 400 last week. But I'm gonna tell you, look, what Coach Orgeron's saying about that. Look, he's going to be that Heisman candidate, but like he said, he has to win the big game. They have to get to the playoffs, and they have to win the national championship, and also the SEC championship. So that's a lot on his plate. So he threw 4 touchdowns against Texas. Also, he threw 5 against Georgia Southern. But I'm going to tell you, his progression is coming up. I'm very happy with his progression, with Joe Burrow's progression. So his numbers right now, he's throwing for 374 yards a game. So that's per game, 374. He has 3.7 touchdowns per game. So, but it's a total of 11. So he only has 2 interceptions in games, Joe Burrow. So I look at it this way. I like to see more. Like I said, I want to see him. I mean, he's going to get his numbers up. That 83% is not a misprint. So that's what we're looking at right here is Joe Burrow. We'll see what his rushing numbers are. We'll pull his rushing numbers up. I'm about to do that in a second. His game log. Okay, Joe Burrow in the last 3 games, he's got 17 carries for 40 yards. He had 1 touchdown. That was against Northwestern. He didn't have no rushing touchdowns against Georgia Southern or Texas. So I'll be honest with you, look, that's why we have this dual threat. And another thing we're going to be talking about tonight, look, I'm going to be honest with you, look, I know that he's got to mention that the injury with Drew Brees and stuff like that. Hopefully that will not happen with Joe Burrow. Hopefully he'll know better and not to get himself into that situation. So once again, this Joe Burrow. Let's go ahead and go over the wide receivers. I'm gonna go back to the wide receivers in just a second. We're going to go over the Vanderbilt quarterback as well. I'm going to go over it in just a second. Let me go over the wide receivers. We'll go over the running game for okay, this is the last. Okay, Delton. Derek Delton. his numbers is coming up pretty well. He has 4 catches now. Lad Fournette has 3.8. Also, Darius Morris has 3. Justin Jefferson has 19 catches. So he's getting his progression up. So he's leading the team with 19 receptions and 374 yards. Now, Jamar Chase has 168. He has 10 catches. Also, Marshall has 16 catches. So your 3 guys is the threats for the LSU Tigers is Jefferson, Chase, and Terrence Marshall. So I'll be honest with you, we got to utilize these guys, and we're going to continue to utilize these guys. So let's give you Vanderbilt's wide receivers. About to do that in a second. Liscombe, he has 11 catches for 106. Let's see, the other guy is Pierce. Once again, he has 4 catches. Harris, he's got 4 for Bowler has 4 catches. Cam Johnson has 5 for 45. So their catch rate is they catch 11 catches per game. So they got some pretty good numbers right there. So that average is pretty darn good. Some of these guys, Pinkley has 14.4 average. Wakefield 10. So I'm gonna be honest with you. They're gonna have some go-to wide receivers in that game this Saturday versus LSU. So the biggest concern for me personally is to control these wide receivers because in containment. Because look, if you don't control these wide receivers, they're going to get big yardage, and Vanderbilt is going to be tough at home. I'll be honest with you. Vanderbilt, look, sure, they're crappy right now and stuff like that. They only score 15 points, but the truth of the matter is, look, you cannot underestimate these teams like Vanderbilt, because I'm going to tell you, if you underestimate Vanderbilt, guess what? Vandy's going to will pose problems. So they present problems. I mean, look. So I'll be honest with you, we have to take this game very seriously. I know Coach Orgeron will have this team prepared versus them on Saturday. So I think he will have them prepared for this game. So I look at it this way. Look, let's go ahead and give you the point spread. I'm about to give you the point spread in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and get this off the screen, get these tabs off the screen. So we're going to go ahead and give you point spread. I'm about to do that. I'm going to go to Vegas Inside and give you a point spread update. And then we'll give you a score update for okay, let's give you a point spread update on LSU and Vanderbilt. We're going to do that right now. So I'm about to switch over to the NCAA football. We're going to give you a point spread update. Okay, let's give you that full update. I'm going to do that in a second. Give you that LSU and Vanderbilt okay, point spread update, line movement. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, the point spread update as of right now. LSU is right now they're the Atlantic movement. LSU is at 23-point favorite, so LSU's 23 points. Caesar has them at 23 points. CG Technology has them at 23 points, 124. That was at 2:31 today. Also, CI or CA movement is 19, so everything is at one says 22 and a half. So also Coastline movement has them 24, 23. That was the line movements as of today, so it's going to be 23 points or 24. Gold Nugget 24, 23. Matchbook has it at 22 and a half, 24. So one says 24. So that's high. So that's what they're putting out right now, depending on how we don't have no injuries and stuff like that. So also the Mirage MGM has it 24. So that's a 24 at 312. Also at 410 it was 23 and a half. Also Pepper Mill has it. Let's see, 24. Also, Stations 23. VI Consensus has it. See, the latest one, it was at 8:40 Central Time here in the Central Time Zone. It is 23 and a half. So everything is earlier during the day. It was 19 and a half. So this line is going to go up and down. Up, it's like a roller coaster. Will go up and down. So I look at it this way: if LSU can limit the mistakes, not get into pre-snap penalty stuff, and kind of have an effective running game for Joe Burrow to pass, I think LSU can win it by maybe 30. It might be 23 or 24 and a half, but I think it's going to probably be more than that. If LSU can do those things, I think it'll be more. So that is what we're looking at here on Vegas Insider. You can go to vegasinsider.com and get lines on your favorite teams and stuff like that. They got baseball and all that stuff. So you could go to vegasinsider.com. So let's go ahead and give you the score updates on MLB. We're going to do that one more time before we sign off tonight. Okay, MLB updates. Okay, we have them on the screen. This is from vegasinsider.com. Top of the ninth, it is 5-1 Milwaukee. 5-1 Milwaukee. Also, bottom of the seventh, it is the Cardinals tied up at 2, so that's 2 outs. Also, the Cubs up 3-2. That's in the top of the 6th. Also, the Mets down 7-4 to Colorado. That's in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out. Also, Miami and Arizona. Arizona up 1-0. In the top of the 9th, the Minnesota Twins up 5-2. The Oakland A's just got started, so that should be starting real soon. Also, it is final score. Detroit wins over Baltimore 5-2. So 5-2. So the Kansas City and Oakland game will be starting in just a few moments. So that's your scoreboard update from VegasInsider.com. We'll go ahead and close out for tonight. Okay, once again, this concludes tonight's Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Monday, September 16th. We apologize to the Facebook audience I know we had a little streaming issues with Facebook, but we will have the broadcast, the video posted to the Facebook page, so you'll be able to see it. So that's unfortunately, hopefully we can get it running tomorrow, and we'll be able to be back on Facebook and have all 4 networks back online. So once again, we apologize. So like, share, and subscribe. Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show on YouTube, on Facebook, WordPress, Instagram, Tumblr, and Reddit. You can also email me anytime. Kerry.wehmeyer@yahoo.com. Everything is on your screen. Also, you can either Google or hang out with me at the same address. So that's highly exceptional right there. So also, social media addresses on your screen. So that's everything is directly on your screen. You don't have to. I don't have to call it out or something like that. So once again, everybody have a good rest of your Monday evening, and we'll be back tomorrow. We will have the wrestling video that will be right after Raw, so we will have it maybe about 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock. We'll have it uploaded to YouTube and Facebook. So everybody have a good rest of your Monday evening.